Sure.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's nice to see your smiling faces. Let's just get right down to business and start with our Honolulu Fire Department.
All right, good evening. I'm Captain Ryan Oki from the Hauula Fire Station. And I'll be giving the July stats for the Hauula, Kava, and Kuku stations combined. So, as well as the safety tip. So for July, we responded to 1 wildland brush fire, 2 nuisance trash fires, 4 activated alarms with no fire. We also responded to 31 medical alarms, 2 traffic vehicle collisions, 1 mountain rescue, 1 ocean rescue, and 1 hazardous materials incident for July. And our fire safety tip is emergency notification and resources. So we want you to understand how you'll be alerted during urgent emergencies, and knowing where to find accurate official information is important. We encourage you to visit honolulu.gov/DEM. And the alert methods include opt-in alerts. These notify individuals who have signed up to receive alerts via text, email, or app push notification based on your preference. Alerts are not sent based on location. Systems include HNL Alert and official government social media. Sign up at hnlalert.gov to receive these notifications. Alerts may be shared by official city, state, and trusted partner accounts. Also, we encourage you to understand the public alert and warning systems. These systems deliver urgent life-saving information during immediate threats to public safety. In Hawaii, these include the emergency alert system. Number 2, the wireless emergency alerts. And number 3, the outdoor warning sirens. Depending on the emergency, 1 or more may be activated. That is the tip for July or August. Any questions?
Do we have any questions from the community? No? The board? Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right, have a good evening.
Hello?
Oh, okay, Casey, go ahead.
Quickly, do you know if the rescue was local, tourist, visitor, or military? And the second thing would be, we're still very concerned about the monster wind turbines at Kahuku. And maybe you don't know about this. We know that thankfully after a year and a half of asking that you have a contacted AES, but do you know if there is a hurricane category 2, 3, or 4, if the town and the hospital will have to be evacuated? Do you know the blade throw of the wind turbines? How far? They just don't drop when there's a hurricane. They spin and they fly. So do you know that, or do you think the Kahuku Fire Department knows that? Did AES tell them?
I'll answer the first question first. Are you referring to the ocean or mountain rescues?
Mountain, but ocean would be good to know too.
So the mountain rescue, I believe, occurred at Crouching Lion, and it involved a
Yes.
visitor with an injured ankle.
It was a
And the
visitor.
ocean one, yes, and the ocean one was night divers by Swansea Beach that ran into trouble. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they were visitors or locals. I'm assuming more local to be night diving. As far as the wind turbines go, I'm sure Kahuku probably has a better feeling for it. I don't have the answer on top of my head what the throw is for the blades, but there is pre-plans in place as far as evacuating the area, and if any issues arise, dealing with the point of contact through the turbine company, as well as our hazardous materials and rescue personnel. If an issue should arise, we just deal with what we got to deal with. And if we got to evacuate, we'll make that call at that time. Probably get assistance from HPD. Is that good?
No, mahalo. So We didn't think there was anything in place that they notify the community on the blade throw and the hospital and homes being so close.
I would have to follow up on that. On the top of my head, I cannot give you an answer for that.
Yeah.
But we could try and follow up maybe next month or something.
Yeah, mahalo. We hope we're safe until.
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No more comments? Okay, let's go to the Honolulu Police Department, please.
Good evening. Lieutenant Villafleur here again. I want to introduce Officer Shane Pohulu. He's one of the officers that patrols the area. So he's going to read the stats and then any questions all three of us will answer. And again, Sergeant Lou is here again.
Good evening, aloha, everybody. So this month's stats, we're starting with motor vehicle theft. Previous month, we had 1, so we're down from previous month. We had 0 this last month. Going to burglaries, previous month, we had 3, so we're up 1 right now with 4. The next thing is thefts. Previous month, we had 7, and this month, we had 6, so we're down. UAMVs, last month, we had 1, this month, we had 2, so we're up. And robberies were 0s across the board. And that's the stats for the previous month and this month. Any questions?
So any questions for our police department? From the board? From the community? Do we have anybody? Casey, I gotta, hold on just a second. Let me pull up. I'm missing a.
Nope,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Casey.
Nope,
There we go.
sorry. I'm okay. I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Do we have any representatives from the United States Army? Thank you. Okay, then let's move on to our government reports, starting with Mayor Rick Blangiardi. Is Kat with us? I think they had a written report. Is that correct? Okay, here we go. I guess I should read this. Is that right? Okay, the month's highlights from the mayor's newsletter, Hawaii driver's license, state IDs get a new look and enhanced security features for the first time in 17 years. Another step toward a reimagined Ivale Kuvili city advances transit-oriented development vision. David Lazar officially sworn as the Honolulu Police Department's 13th Chief of Police. The city celebrates 250th anniversary of America with parade and reading of Declaration of Independence. The city is lowering school zone speed limits to improve safety, as we discussed last time. National awards highlight greener city parks. Okay. Emergency preparedness. Please be advised of severe weather that can impact the state. Please do not wait and prepare accordingly now. Sign up for H&L alerts. For more information, you can go to www.honolulu.gov/DEM. The city will send out public updates each day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. until the storm passes. Youth Climate Action Fund application window. The city's mayor's office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resilience and the Honolulu Youth Commission are implementing the Youth Climate Action Fund, which supports Oahu youth with up to $4,999 to design and implement a climate project. Applications will be accepted from July 27th through September 7th. To learn more, go to www.resilientoahu.org/YCAF. Here are some of the follow-ups. Who is in charge of developing the amenities specified within the unilateral agreement? Is it Oretta, Ritz-Carlton, or both? DPP. Resolution number 86-308 and ordinance number 86-99 outline the conditions required as part of the Turtle Bay Resorts 1986 management area permit and shoreline setback variance and 1986 zone change and unilateral agreement, respectively. The Department of Planning and Permitting follows the language as specified within the resolution and ordinance, and the current TPR applicants and landowners are responsible for providing the required public amenities described in the unilateral agreement. The North Shore Bay owner of LCC owns the majority of lands comprising the TPR. The North Shore Bay owner LLC owns the majority of lands. Emergency evacuation, illegal rentals. Question from the community. A resident asked how officials plan to conduct emergency evacuations given the unknown number of occupants in illegal vacation rentals who may lack food, water, or evacuation information. DEM replied, a resident asked how officials plan to conduct emergency evacuations when the number of visitors staying in unpermitted vacation rentals is unknown and when those visitors might lack food, water, etc. Those factors do not change how evacuation decisions are made. When public safety officials order an evacuation, the decision focuses on the hazard, the area of risk, the time available, and the proactive action needed to save lives. The city does not base evacuation decisions on the legal status of the rental property, the number of people inside a unit, or whether occupants have personal emergency supplies. Everyone in an evacuation area receives the same public safety guidance. Visitors and tourists have the same responsibility as residents to prepare for emergencies. Anyone staying on Oahu should know where they are staying, whether the location sits in a tsunami, flood, wildfire, or other hazard area, and how they will receive alerts and where they will go if told to leave. Personal readiness matters. Visitors should have food, water, medication, phone chargers, transportation plans, and a way to communicate with family or travel companions. Residents should do the same. Public agencies issue warnings and evacuation guidance, but each household and travel group must take action to protect itself. When DEM issues emergency evacuation information, the city uses multiple alert and warning systems. Those systems include H&L alert, wireless emergency alerts to mobile phones, the emergency alert system on television and radio, outdoor warning sirens when appropriate, news media, official city channels, first responders, and partner agencies. These systems reach people based on the hazard area and the communication tools available during the emergency. A visitor does not need to know the neighborhood board district, property status, or local emergency management structure to receive a mobile alert through the national alert system. DEM also works with tourism partners before and during emergencies. This includes coordination with visitor industry organizations, hotel, visitor information channels, and other partners who help share preparedness information, evacuation guidance, and the official updates with tourists and visitors. The key point is this: evacuations are hazard-based, alerts are issued broadly, visitors and residents share responsibility for personal readiness, public shelters and assembly areas remain last resort options, people in danger should follow official instructions and leave when told to evacuate. That's our city. So we have a format here where we go through all the government reports, and then it's kind of a panel, and then you can respond at the end. We just ask you to, if you have a particular question for a particular government official or liaison, just be clear about that. Okay, so that's from CAT. Council member Matt Wire's office. Do we have a representative?
Hi,
Chelsea?
everyone. This is Chelsea.
Yeah, hi, Chelsea.
Hey, okay, let me go ahead and share a little bit of highlights from our newsletter here. I just want to say thank you for allowing our staff, Christy, to take over last month's neighborhood board while I was out of town here. But just going to highlight basically the opening message. And so this is going to be from council member highlighting things in our newsletter. So I'm pleased to highlight several council actions that advance cultural preservation, community resilience, and marine conservation. For example, the support for preserving Ke Kipuka o Koʻolauloa in Kahuku. And then there's also another one that sets minimum standards for city-built resilience hubs. And then the last one is to urge action to address commercial aquarium harvesting. So those were a couple of measures that are sort of moving here. And then, you know, like the news that you may have already heard from last month, but he just says here, at the same time, I'm deeply disappointed by the council's decision to cut positions and funding for OER, the Office of Economic Revitalization. And so in case you folks don't know, the Office of Economic Revitalizations, they will be officially ceasing operations as of tomorrow. So that's August 14th, just to let you all know. Other than that, you know, I didn't have any follow-up from Christy for last month's meeting, but shameless plugging, our newsletter usually goes out at the beginning of every month. So if you haven't already subscribed to our email list, you can go to council members' webpage and do that pretty easily there. So thank you. And then I'll stick around for questions at the very end.
Thank you, Chelsea. Next up, any representative from Congresswoman Jill Takuta's office? Okay, how about any representative from Josh Green? Erica, are you online, or is there another representative from our governor? Okay, let's go to Senator Brenton Awa or staffer. Anyone online for them? How
Yes,
about
hello.
Sean? Okay, thanks.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Thanks,
my
Ethan.
name is Moto, and I'll be presenting this month's report on behalf of Senator Brenton Awa's office. At the last meeting, we were asked about why Hawaii could not reopen our public schools for in-person voting, as was done in the past. During the 2026 legislative session, Senate Bill 2826 was introduced to appropriate funding to the counties for additional voter service centers. This bill was referred to the Senate Committees on Judiciary, of which Senator Awa is a member, as well as the Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. Unfortunately, the counties ultimately opposed the measure, indicating that the additional funding was unnecessary and that Hawaii's vote by mail system was more effective. As a result, the measure was deferred and did not advance. Another question raised at the last meeting concerned illegal vacation rentals and why more has not been done to address them. Our office has been working directly with the Department of Planning and Permitting on specific complaints submitted by constituents who provided us with detailed information. Because illegal vacation rental cases can be difficult to enforce directly, DPP is also examining um, these properties from other regulatory and permitting angles that may provide alternative ways to stop their operations. Our office will continue following up and providing updates as these cases progress. Finally, with Tropical Storm Lala approaching Hawaii, our office contacted the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency to confirm the status of emergency warning sirens throughout the district. We were informed that the sirens at Kahuku High School, Kahuku Intermediate School, Laie Shopping Center, Koʻolauloa Beach Park, Turtle Bay, and the Kahuku Shrimp area are operational. However, the sirens at the Polynesian Cultural Center and Koʻela Bay are currently not operational. A repair contract had previously been awarded, but work was delayed after the award was disputed. According to the Emergency Management Agency, another contractor has since been selected and is completing the required paperwork before repairs can begin. In the meantime, we encourage everyone to remain prepared and monitor official weather alerts and emergency announcements. And that concludes this month's report. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or information you would like the Senator's office to follow up on, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. If you don't mind hanging out to the end, I think we just have one more. And actually, I'd actually like also, we have a representative from the Department of Transportation, so I wanted to give them an opportunity. Do we have a representative from Sean Quinlan's office?
Yes, let me share my screen here.
Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm Sean Quinlan.
Yeah, we're going to do Sean Quinlan first, and then we'll go to DOT.
Okay, just a few quick things because I know we're trying to get through this. Something I'm really excited about is that a crazy person tried to build a gondola going up the mountain, the side of Mount Koʻolauloa. And so my response to that is that this year I banned gondolas. So we will never be able to build a gondola, chairlift, motorized, anything up the side of any mountain, much less a sacred mountain, which I'm pretty excited about. But the most important thing I want to talk to you guys about today is that, and I didn't know this before it came to my attention, up until 2006, we used to have helicopter life flights in Hawaii. So, if you get really, really hurt and you're at a hospital, a helicopter would come and take you to a hospital that might be more equipped to handle whatever situation you have, whether it's a heart attack or a stroke or severe injury. In 2006, they ended this because it used to be run by the military. And after we were in Iraq and Afghanistan, they needed their Black Hawk helicopters. Well, as of this year, we have life flight back on Honolulu, on Oahu. So what that means is Kahuku Medical Center has a helipad, and there's a helicopter now on Oahu. And from Honolulu International Airport to Kahuku Medical Center, it's an 11-minute flight in a helicopter and 11 minutes back. And it's really meaningful to me because I think this is going to save lives for people in our community. For me personally, that's the closest hospital to my parents' house. which means a lot. And so I'm just really, really excited that we once again have the ability to helicopter severely injured people from hospitals into town where they may have more advanced life-saving equipment or specialist doctors or things like that. So I think that's just a huge win for our community. I want to thank Steve Navahine and everybody at KMC for working very closely with these life flight guys, AMR. And so obviously, I'm hopeful we never have to use it, but the fact that it's there, I think, is amazing. And of course, may have a tropical storm / hurricane coming on Saturday. So hopefully everybody can tie down the stuff in their yard and get ready for that. So that's it from me.
Thank you, Sean. And then we have Casey. In the discussions with the board last month, there was a fair amount of discussion on a letter that the board had sent to DOT some time ago requesting DOT consultation on speed humps of the community. And I think we're sort of hoping you can report out to that. I think there continues to be concern that maybe there isn't sufficient DOT community consultation. So I'm going to give you the floor, Casey. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have one slide here to showcase. And can you see my slide here?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Chair Epp and members of the Koʻolauloa Neighborhood Board number 28. My name is Casey Abe, and I will be your new state DOT highways representative. I only have this one slide to share with you folks tonight, and it's about a community meeting scheduled for September 24th. We want to thank State Representative Kitagawa for working with our administration and for assistance with providing the funding so we could hire consultant AECOM to conduct this long-range coastal resiliency study from Koʻolauloa to Hauʻula. At our September 24th community meeting, HDOT Highways, along with our consultant AECOM, will make a presentation on this study. We will have representatives from the City and County of Honolulu at the meeting to help answer any questions. Once the location and start time is confirmed, I will email Chair Epp and Neighborhood Board Assistant Chelsea Smith. This concludes my report. If the neighborhood boards or the public have any concerns about the state highways, they can email me your concerns, and if possible, send pictures of Google Maps, screenshots of the location for your concerns. I'll work with I'll work on your concerns with my fellow coworkers at our district office and support branches, and hope to present an action plan at the next neighborhood board meeting. If the neighborhood board members or the public would like their concerns to be expedited, since our offices are short on resources and very busy, they can email their state elected officials, Senator Awa or Representative Quinlan's office. Your state elected officials can email our Deputy Director for Highways, Mr. Robin Shishido, and copy me on their email so I can help follow up and report back at the next neighborhood board meeting. Our Deputy Director will assist with prioritizing all the requests from our state elected officials and neighborhood boards for the various highways offices. I will not be able to participate in your September 10th meeting because I'll be on leave, but I will participate in your October's meeting. So I hope to see you folks at our September 24th community meeting. I can take any questions at this time, and responding to your earlier question about
Casey. Casey, if I can ask the first question. I think one of the questions that we asked last time was what has been the consultation process with the new humps in the past? In other words, has there been any process where DOT reaches out to the neighborhood boards before humps are installed? I know that
Yes.
I commend the community meetings. I think it's a great idea. But I'm just want to respond and sort of to what the folks had really wanted to know. Is there a process for consulting with particular communities before speed humps are put in?
Yeah, and that's what we're moving forward and changing, where projects or especially speed humps, when we do decide to put a speed hump, we should come to the neighborhood board and get approval. I do represent the Highways Division at the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board, and I do work closely with the Waimanalo Neighborhood. When they request, in fact, they request for speed humps, I work with our traffic office to confirm where we should put it, and we present it to the neighborhood board and get their approval before we start any construction. Moving forward, that's the reason why I'm here, to present projects to the board prior to any start of construction.
Thank you, Casey. Do we have any other questions or comments from the community? We're going to have Ben and then Cowie.
Yeah, aloha, Ben Schaefer. I just wanted to thank you for coming on board, and hopefully that you will be able to answer our questions and we will have that dialogue so that we can get these things going. I've been starting right from the day I got elected. I was at DOT every week, pestering them, asking them for this, asking them for that, and they gave it, but it was getting less and less because they were kind of overwhelmed. But anyway, I'm glad that Casey is here. Thank you, Casey, for being on board. Mahalo. Oh, and another thing is that I also want to recognize that DOT, the last big storm we had, right? There was a whole bunch of holes that came up. They normally do come up, right? And right after like about a day and a half, two, all the holes were filled. I want to thank them for filling the holes because that makes a big difference. They may come back again, but you guys filling them up again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. And then we have Cowie.
Real quick, Kau'i Weiss, details. The community meeting on September the 24th, is that going to be here? And what time?
It's not going to be here.
Where
We're
is it
working
gonna-
that out right now. Our consultant ACOM is working on a location. They're looking at one of the elementary schools because it'll be a community meeting. So this project does affect the Kahalui Neighborhood Board, Kahalua Neighborhood Board. So we're trying to find a place where it's in between the two neighborhood boards.
Kahalu'u?
Kahalua Neighborhood Board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
we
So we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Dottie, did you have a comment?
Are you saying you're going to hold it in Kahalu?
Well,
This
we're looking
meeting,
at
this
one.
very important meeting for Ko'olauloa is going to be held in Kahalu?
Well, again, we have to, working with our consultant, we have to look for a location that's available. And right now we're looking at some of the school cafeterias.
Well,
So
we
it
have a
could be-
great cafeteria in Hau'ula and one at Kahuku as well.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
Casey,
again,
we're offering you some space if we can get it from the school.
sure.
And we appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing you at future meetings.
Thank you.
We have Sunny. Go ahead.
So we heard that there's more speed humps coming in Hau'ula, or was it in this area? Is that gonna be on hold or is that rumors? Can you confirm?
I will have to check on that, but I do know we have complaints from existing speed humps right now. So we are trying to address those.
Okay, so no new humps.
I would have to check. I'm not sure. I will go back and check with our traffic branch
If there
because
is any plan, could we put them on hold until we have community meetings, community input regarding those speed humps and the locations, please?
sure, I'll bring that up to our administration. Sure.
Casey, and if possible, just because the timelines sometimes are tight with this, if you wouldn't mind letting us know instead of waiting to the next meeting, if you could email me and let me know and I can pass it on to the
Sure.
board. If there are any speed humps that are planned already.
And again, how to expedite these kind of major concerns, you again work with your state elected officials who can email our deputy director for highways, Rami Shishido, and also have your elected officials copy me on their emails to our deputy director so I can help follow up because he has more say than me with my fellow offices.
Thanks.
So-
And Casey, you may want to stick around for Dylan's presentation on the Koʻolauloa Transportation Talanoa and Talk Story recommendations and questions. It's actually the next thing on the agenda. So if you have time.
Yes,
May I
sure.
ask One more question.
Go ahead, Sunny.
Is the DOT aware of the Naupaka overgrowth in the Turtle Bay Resort area? They're covering signs and some of the Naupaka is extending towards the road. I do see that they are making efforts to clean it up, but it's taking a long time. So we wanted to make sure if that's something that the DOT addresses because of the signage blockage and the safety issues.
Oh, sure. I encountered those kind of problems from my other neighborhood boards, and yes, I try to go out into the field prior to the neighborhood boards and do a field inspection and try to work with our maintenance crew to address it. So yes, I'll be going out in the field to look at the problem. But if you do see something, again, you can take a picture, email it to me, and then I can quickly work with our maintenance crew to address it.
Okay, can you drop your email address?
Thank you, Casey. One more question from Kaui, and then we'll open it up to the larger community.
Aloha, Casey. Actually, this is a statement. I'm going to send you a specific pictures of an individual living in the Naupaka along the highway in Punalu'u. And I have an approximate street, the Mauka side, the street address. We're curious about what we should do about that because we contact the police and I think this might be a DOT situation.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go ahead and, because you were kind enough to give you your email, we're gonna go ahead and send you pictures and
Sure. Yeah.
address of the location because we're
Yes,
concerned about that.
yes,
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Homeless
Thank you.
is a big problem for us.
Okay. Do we have any other? Go ahead, Evelyn.
Good evening. I'm Evelyn Lane from Kahuku. I'm wondering about the bumps, of course, the humps. We want those taken care of. But along the road, I think the Department of Transportation is responsible for clearing out the ditches and the streams.
Yes.
And we have not had any work being done out in our community since the Koʻolauloa to come in and clean up. There's a big water area right in front of the hospital on the south side of the highway. And that is full of debris. And there's a big ditch at in front of the bird sanctuary that needs to be regularly taken care of. And on another point, that in Kahuku, we need a pedestrian crosswalk on the Makai side of the road that would help people get off the bus so they can cross the street and walk to work or go to the hospital without having to cross two sides of the road that have no crosswalk. So if we could get a crosswalk at the hospital so the people can safely get across the street from my side of the highway, the ocean side, to the mountain side, that would be really nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Chair, that's a good example where a public is requesting a crosswalk within your folks' neighborhood board area. So they come to the neighborhood board and they recommend the board to look at it, investigate, and vote on it. All you folks have to do is vote on it and then document it in you guys' minutes and let me know. And then I'll work with our traffic branch and we'll do an investigation to make sure it's justifiable. And once it's justifiable, we'll let the neighborhood board know that it's justifiable. And then we'll plan to install a new crosswalk. So we do go to the neighborhood board and want the neighborhood board's approval for any kind of residents requests.
So procedurally, DOT can act upon a recommendation from the board. Where do we want to go with that right now? Do we want to do it today, or do we want to do some investigation, or what?
For you folks, you can do it tonight, or it's up to you folks as a board. If you have a quorum where you folks can vote on it.
Yeah, we have quorum.
Yeah, so if you folks can discuss it and vote on it and document it, yes, and then that's the first step, knowing that you folks are requesting for it. So then I would work with verify the location with a crosswalk is what you folks want it installed, and then I'll work with our traffic branch to verify that it's justified per our guidelines.
Yeah, I guess my question is, I think that's an important thing. I wonder, do we need to have a little bit more information in terms of maybe a map or not, or are we okay voting on the motion
There
now?
was a crosswalk that we requested previously, but it wasn't done. They focused on, up at Kahuku Elementary School, so this would be something that would be very beneficial to have. So I'm in full support of that additional crosswalk, in that intersection by the medical center.
Do we want to ask our sort of infrastructure committee to put together a list of things in a resolution, not just these two, but recommendations we want to make to DOT?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Chair, the problem with that is we're right here right now. We have one, and let's just work on it, and then we get more, we'll add them on.
That's fine.
Because if not, we'll be waiting another time and another time and another time.
Here's another crosswalk we've been asking for, from the park in Hauula Beach Park to across the street where the parking is. We have a lot of food giveaways there, and it's very dangerous because there is no crosswalk. And there should be a second crosswalk down over to 7-Eleven because so many people cross over from the beach park to 7-Eleven. So those two suggestions we'd really like to see in Hauula.
My recommendation is we could delay it over and over and over again, but if we ask our transportation or our infrastructure committee to do a recommendation with all of the crosswalks that we have in mind, and we commit ourselves to passing it on the next agenda, I think that should be sufficient.
Instead of waiting again, I think we should do it right now so that is settled, and then he can get his get that going. Right, it's going to take some time. On top of that, they still might deny it, but we want to give them a chance to review it.
Okay, so what we can do today is just pass a brief motion supporting one crosswalk. Okay.
Yeah, I want to make
Just
a
the one
motion.
crosswalk.
I want to make a motion that we accept Evelyn's and Sunny's request representing Kahuku, right, and Dottie's request representing Hauula. At by 7-Eleven, those two that she mentioned, that she will bring up at the end of the thing. I'll make a motion on that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Can we do a resolution or something with a little bit more detail at our next meeting? Because I think I'm not clear that DOT knows what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
we just want a picture or someplace to make sure that we're
that's
we
fine.
clearly know where you folks want us to put a crosswalk. So
Thank you, Casey.
Google map or something.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other questions for our panel of government liaisons?
Mike, I
and
do.
by the, go ahead, Cap.
Okay, all right. Sir, your presentation was titled "To Hauula," and I'm an English teacher, so I'm stuck on that grammar. Are you meaning that the presentation that we will see on September 24th will be about a study that only comes to the end? What point in Hauula? Is that where Homestead Road starts, or are you talking about where Hauula ends proper, which would be over in Kakelas? I'm just for clarity's sake, because I think people might think that you mean the whole stretch. And certainly when they come, they're going to come with opinions about Malai Kahana stretch, et cetera, and other places. So when you say to Hauula, where's the end point?
Okay, I will have to get back with you on that, working with our consultant here. But when people do come to the September 24th meeting and we're more than happy for you folks to let us know other areas if it's beyond our start point end point to address your concerns, and we can look at it. But I will get back with you, and maybe I can email.
So you presented on something that you do not know about. That
Oh,
I'm
it-
confused. You
it's
said
just a-
two,
yeah,
you
just a
don't,
general.
Okay.
in general, you don't know.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
really
I know.
disconcerting, sir. I'm sorry, but it's very disconcerting that you came presented and you can't answer a question as to what's the start and end point of this
Well, I
study.
do know the start point is Koʻolauloa Regional Park. That's the start point. Hauula is,
Okay,
I'm not familiar with that area. That's why I would have to double check.
okay.
But it
Because
starts on
I'm wondering if we're talking about ocean effects, because it sounds like you're talking about ocean effects,
yes,
which is
sea
a
level
whole one.
rise.
This is,
Mhm.
or is it about the road in general? Because those
No,
are two different matters.
it's about the shoreline erosion that's happening due to sea level rise. And there have been studies in the past that come 2100, year 2100, sea level rise will be approximately 6 feet or more. And so we're looking at what can we do because communities in the other areas at Koʻolauloa, they are concerned because there have been a lot of shoreline erosion.
20 feet in the 28 years I've lived here. So yes, thank you. I'm glad for that clarity. But I've seen
Thank you.
personally 20 feet.
Hey, just to remind, Casey will be at future meetings, so we'll look forward to following up with him. Do we have any other comments for our panel of government liaisons?
Mike, I would like to ask one more question about the 311 program for
Sure.
the for CAT. I understood that that's something you're meant to get a rapid response to or some response. Well, I've written now to the parks and to the 311 about concerns about the Hauʻula Beach Park, and I have gotten no response in over 2 weeks. So I'm not really kind of, I'm curious about who's managing it. And, when it went up, we were told it was going to be a good, fast response time. And I got nada. So I would like to ask that of the mayor or whoever's running that 311.
Yeah, just to let you know that the governor's rep normally takes care of questions or concern
Yeah, that's
from
right.
other agencies. I'm here to assist the governor's rep and just focus on the highways division. I'm not replacing my director. Depending on the situation, my director or deputy director or highways administrator would come and address the problem. I'm here to just try to address all your concerns as much as I can.
So thank
It's only
you,
for
Casey. We've got, we're missing both of our government, our governor and our mayor's representative today. So let's make sure that gets in the minutes, and let's make sure our representatives respond to Catherine's comments. I just want to remind folks, if you don't speak up actually in person, rather than just putting your questions in the chat, they'll probably not get responded to. So do we have any other questions for our liaisons? Ella. Okay, Ella. Ella, are you there? Okay, any other questions for our
Okay.
panelists? Oh, there you go.
My problem that I'm hearing from you, Casey, is you check the roads around Kahuku for safety issues and you're familiar with the Koʻolauloa Beach Park area. So why aren't you familiar with the road in between? Because that's where Punaluu, Hauʻula, that's where we all sit. So you've got to go past there. So that's my question.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, see, again, this is why we have you folks neighborhood board. You folks help us identify problems. I do try to go out at least once a month. Again, this is my first meeting with you folks. I recently been assigned. So I will start going out and checking. But I look at things for like, graffiti, signs missing, damaged guardrails, things, that's very obvious, potholes. But when you folks have a concern like the curve is too steep or that kind of stuff that I would have to bring back and ask my support officers if too many accidents occurring, maybe you have to adjust the curves of the road. Those are the kind of stuff I would need assistance here. But you folks are out there and you folks see something bad or wrong or something you don't like, just take a picture and again, email me and I will assist in researching the problem and working with my support officers and trying to respond back.
Thanks, Casey. I think Evelyn had a question. You can address anything you want.
Okay, so everybody knows about the Kahuku fire issue that we've had for years now. I've been hoping that this would be put on a maintenance schedule so that the city and county would take care of their property that borders all of the property that that is around where I live. And, we tried to get a mitigation date accomplished, but it's been 3 years. And I'm just wondering if somebody from the city and county could tell me if there have been any line budgets items placed there to have Kahuku facilities, maintenance, parks and recs, or somebody take care of the land that belongs to the city and county that borders the Kahuku Senior Ha'ulehale.
Yeah, and since we don't have our mayor's representative, let's make sure that gets documented and transmitted to Kat. So thank you, Evelyn. Do we have any other comments? We should wrap this up pretty soon. Go ahead.
I wanted to bring up the Patch at Punaluu scenario. In the daytime, it looks fine, but when you come nighttime, the road is, the parking alongside the road is all the way from one part of the building to the other side. Problem with that is that they have the ocean side to park, but that is all, right, so it's all made beautified, but they still have their people that they gotta park, right? So why are there no violations of some sort? Because I'm sure at the beginning, they said that they would keep their people in their area, right? They wasn't gonna be all over the place. I think that I think all of them they had to have ample parking for their people. So anyway, can I go to Matt for now and maybe the mayor's office? Thank you, for DPP.
So can we direct that to DPP and Matt? Let's make sure we put that in the minutes. Go ahead, Dottie.
I see that very differently because I believe they do typically have everyone park inside, but I noticed maybe because there is construction inside, that's why the people are parking along the road. But I agree, they should not be parking along the road because it's a very dangerous area.
Okay. Is it inappropriate to ask a representative from their association to come to the board and
No, we could do that.
and have some discussions, Kawi?
I can do that
Could you
because
invite
there
them?
are several Hatsi Punalu'u owners who are part of Punalu'u Community Association.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
we'll
great.
get someone to come and speak for that.
Maybe the president of their homeowners association or somebody like that would be
Definitely.
great. So let's put that on the agenda for next time, because I know we've also had questions about that check-in sign, about the parking. So I think just clarifying all of that would be really useful. Okay, thank you, Kawi. Okay, let's do one more and move on. I'm a little bit worried about the agenda and keeping us within time, but please go ahead. No, it's for the people online. No.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear about this helicopter at the Kahuku Hospital, because with all these speed humps on an emergency, Kahuku is limited on what they can do for people. So if we have to ambulance them going over every one of the speed humps, they have to stop. How much longer is it taking them to get to Castle or to Wahiawa? And Wahiawa only is emergency. So where are they going to have to take these people?
That's right.
And the other thing is the whole coastline is eroding, and we're looking at hurricane season. And you guys just keep dumping rocks. Why is there not an alternative route for us to get in and out? In an emergency, we're all going to be stuck. You got enough helicopters to fly in supplies for everyone? And to medevac them out?
Thank you. Hey, Casey, would you mind letting us know what DOT's position is on an alternative route? Does it have a formal position? Has it been discussed? Has it been considered? Where is it in the process? It's something that's come up over and over and over again in community and preparedness meetings here in Aula particularly.
Sure, and that's a good question where, working with your state representatives, the your senator and representative, they would work with us to provide funding in the legislature so we can do a study to find an alternative route. They have, other representative has provided funding for like Makakilo and the proceeding Palisades, where they provided funding for those communities that would look at alternative routes, because those two communities have only one way in and one way out.
So maybe a larger resolution out of our infrastructure committee that focuses not just on crosswalks, but also on things like an alternative route. Maybe a kind of a nice agenda as to our laundry list of things we would like DOT to focus on. Okay, Evelyn, and then I'm going to bring the panel discussion to a close if people don't mind.
One of the things that I
Yes.
I attended the meeting for the military leases a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that was discussed is that the leased land that the military would like to return to Kahuku is the area that covers Drum Road. And Drum Road could be our access. If we could get more help pushing this agenda, it could really help all of us, not just here in Kahuku, but or in Hauula and Kahuku, Sunset Beach, Pupukea Beach, Pupukea area, all have access to Drum Road, including Waimea Valley. So I think that would be something that as a community, we should really jump on this and try to make it happen.
Evelyn, would you consider joining the infrastructure committee and working with Dottie on that?
Yes.
That's one of the agenda items for today, is we want to begin identifying chairs for some of these committees. And we want those, particularly those that are particularly outspoken and bring up useful things time and time again, people like Casey and Catherine. And, you know, is there a committee where you can join and really have an even more involved role here? So go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I would like to request that question go to Joe Takuta's office.
Jill Takuta's office?
Right.
The question of the bypass road or just Drum
Right,
Road in
bypass,
particular?
that
Drum Road and the bypass
yeah,
road. Okay.
yeah,
If we
Drum
can
Road.
get that in the minutes and then we can follow up. Okay. All right. Folks don't mind. Casey, go ahead. And then you're the last one.
I still have quick. Okay, quickly. Last month I asked about where are the EA permits? Why? I asked both the mayor and Matt's office about the zip line. Now we see the horrendous things happening with that huge zip line. I understand that Matt visited the zip line on Monday. I asked about those permits last time. I asked about why we can't find any permits online for the other EAHRI projects. They're all supposed to be listed. I asked both the mayor's office and Matt about that. Also, last time I asked about illegal vacation rentals. They're not paying any of their taxes. And that was for state, both Brenton and Sean, and also the governor's rep. That's our state and our federal taxes. They're not paying the green fee. They're not paying the TAT. And a retired DBET official said he thinks maybe a quarter of the visitors stay in illegal amount of DPP that you stop the vacation rentals. It's through the state. And if it's possible to have our representative and our senator both to look at that, I greatly appreciate it. The new thing is this massive zip line. It's ruining the mountains. It's over the watershed. They say 1,000 people a day they want to have. There's no carrying capacity study, no permits. What's going on? I think all of our representatives, city and state, need to look at this immediately. These are lower paying jobs, and nobody can afford to stay here without them. And the second thing is the new thing is the first new thing is relooking at this massive zip line and all the repercussions, because there are no permits for it. And and why the fine so small doesn't matter. The developers can just pay them even if you triple up. And the second thing is that who are the outreach social workers for Koʻolauloa? what are their names? What days do they come? What are their telephone numbers? And is there one for youth for RISE? What is the names? They come and phone numbers. And is there one for veterans? What is their name, the days they come, their phone numbers? I would love all of our city and state officials to know this. I think it would be very helpful. And it would be also helpful. We can help ongoing, and thank you. Mahalo. Mahalo.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
two
Casey.
things that weren't that last month and that weren't addressed, and then two new things. Mahalo.
Okay, just a side comment too. One of the things we've proposed is having a government transparency and accountability committee. Ben and I have been chatting about that. We've been looking at what other neighborhood boards, and one of the roles of that committee oftentimes is being much more intentional about following up and listening to responses and documenting them and ensuring that we get the kind of answers that we would like from our representatives. And they have, many of them just do a superb job, but I think we could probably be more intentional about that. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I would like to request that the zip line that goes to Matt and also the mayor's office, a report on what the status of that.
Yes.
And on the, what was the other one again, no? You talked about? Anyway, so the zip line, we want the city to look at it.
Okay.
We want to report next month on it, if we can.
We're asking our liaisons to do a lot of reporting next time, but
Right.
we're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to checking it because I got to do reporting.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. We're going to move on. We're going to close the panel if folks don't mind and move on to our presentations for today. Casey, are you still online?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, great. Sorry. Okay. I want to go to Dylan. Dylan, a report on the Koʻolauloa Transportation Talanoa and Talk Story recommendations and outcomes. Dylan's a transportation engineering designer, and he had published his master's thesis. Congratulations. And the link is in the minutes, and you can look at it. It's not irrelevant to us. And I want to hand the floor over to Dylan. Dylan, you've got 5 minutes.
All right. Mahalo nui. Thank you guys so much for letting me to present back. And I also want to say thank you to everyone that participated, especially the neighborhood board and Auntie Dottie for helping me organize everything. We did a survey. We did a lot of talanoas, a lot of talk stories. I met with a lot of stakeholders. I had a sit down discussion with Director Sniffen to talk about some of your guys' concerns. And I gathered all this information that you guys had shared, everyone shared, in some of my research and put it into a report that Michael has and the board has and Auntie Dottie has, and that we hope to share with the DOT, the MPO, and other people from the city and county. So one of the things I looked at was alternatives to speed humps, something that could provide speed reduction, crash modifications, but that was still implementable and didn't impact our emergency response. This came from my studies and from your guys' comments, and some of the things that we talked about was RFBs, hardened center lines. One of the biggest things was a community gateway. Punaluu was really voiced about that. So I have some pictures generated here of what that can look like. And I found, and this is all in the report, that these things are just as effective as speed humps, but do provide better emergency response times, as well as are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. In addition, for safety, we were talking about a lot of crossings and connectivity. There's a lot of concerns about being able to walk in pathways that connects Koʻolauloa. So one of the things we did is we came up with some cross sections on how we can provide a pathway. And we saw that with the 50-foot right of way that Camp Highway is, we could still fit in our 2 lanes, as well as a pathway. And here listed is actually some other crossings that were talked about a lot in the surveys and in discussions. And again, I'll share that with you guys as you guys look more for more crosswalks and better crosswalks. And that's kind of a lot on the safety portion of my findings and my research. The other thing is about resiliency. A lot of the DOT's recommendations, is a lot of hardened seawalls on elevating the roadway. But what we heard from the community, what we heard from you guys was we wanted nature-based solutions that help revitalize the beach while still protecting the roadway. But obviously, the biggest thing that we talked about and one is the secondary road and the need for that. What we came up with is actually a proposed alignment that connects, Cane Hall Road, Koʻolauloa Road, and all of these that were the historic primary arterial for Koʻolauloa way back in the day. And that's a hope is that we're able to, look at that as revitalizing for a secondary access route, since a lot of those bone and infrastructure and the right of way exists and is similar to Cam Highway. What we talked about and what we propose and my recommendations is the need for a feasibility study first that will evaluate, the cost, maybe analyze alternative alignments, look at the impacts environmentally, culturally, any right-of-way procurement. One thing that I will say is a lot of people, especially when I talked with Director Sniffen about was, would the community still support it if the cost of it would be so high because of the cost of land that might need to be procured. And from our survey, we found that 76% of the residents supported the secondary roadway, and 75% supported it no matter what, viewing it as a necessity, meaning that only 1% said, if it costs too much, we won't support it. To me, that's a big success and a big voice of what we need in our community is a secondary road. Obviously, some known issues is the connection between how do we get around Waimea and Kahana Bay, and the need for a right-of-way to be at least 50 feet. Overall, some recommendations and next steps is formalize and strengthen ongoing engagement, which I know the neighborhood board is really active in. But one of the biggest findings that I found was there's no representative from the Koʻolauloa neighborhood board on the MPO Citizen Advisory Committee. And this is the direct link to planning for transportation. They also give out funding, federal funding. So being able to push up the feasibility study or any safety studies to them, they're able to provide funding and the means to do so as well, and support for any planning. Conduct the secondary access road feasibility study, implement some safety and emergency response studies on the traffic calming measures, conduct a connectivity and pathway study for new pathways and connections to extend, Malakahana and the Kuku bike path. And it's about time for a new and updated sustainable communities plan. Those are my findings. Mahalo nui, Loa. I'm happy to answer any questions. The report I, forwarded to the neighborhood board, and Casey, we're happy to share with you and Robin as well, and the MPO as well.
Sure, you can send it to me.
Thank you, Dylan. That was great. And, the timing is perfect. I think I'm wondering if you'd be willing to work with Dottie and Evelyn on a resolution that might include these recommendations, including representation on that community advisory group. And I don't know whether we can have something by our next meeting or not. I'm also happy to help with that. Let me know. Do we have any questions for Dylan?
Aloha. Great report, Dylan. On the Oahu MPO, what's her name? Anita always sends me what's going on over there, and I'm trying to keep up, but they have so much stuff going on over there.
They
and
do.
we can hardly keep up with those. So, but anyway, I'm glad that you brought that up again. Thank you.
Yep.
I also found out a couple of years ago, Dylan, that the city is no longer working with communities on revising the sustainable community plan. And I can't imagine that they sit at DPP, that's where they do it. They write a new plan for us. And I think there's something very wrong with that, having been through efforts where we wrote the sustainable community plan as a community. We had significant input into it, and now they're doing it all on their own at DPP. So I think there's something we should say about that.
Let's put that in the resolution in
Yeah.
whereases and then in the response, but absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, whereas DPP has changed its community consultation process, et cetera. So thank you so much. All right. Any other comments for Dylan?
I have a a question about the military road that goes from Marconi over the mountain to maybe like yeah, somewhere close to Mililani, I think. Anyway, does anyone know about this road? Is it a road that is owned by the government? Is it a feasible road that someday, somewhere, somehow we could use to make it to the other side?
Does anybody have any background on that?
I personally don't know much about it. I know the military road is, and Casey, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the military access roads, kind of falls in this weird jurisdiction between the federal and the Army Corps. And so permission to be able to use those roads will be kind of a little political battle, but it's something that definitely can be looked at. And, especially if we get a feasibility study, if that's the best route and best access, because, it's about our response and about our resiliency as a community. So,
Thank you, Dottie.
Mike, can I interject here?
Go ahead, Catherine, and then
I went to a meeting of OHA a few weeks ago where they were sharing about the leases that are currently being looked into for revisal by the military. And they did a very, 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 very thorough presentation of the history and law of the land going back to the original Hawaiian kings. But one thing that is there sections of that land that are up for discussion for either being held or returned. And absolutely, now is the time that people must speak about Drum Road. OHA needs to have a voice at the table. Currently, our governor only has them present. They do not have a voice. They do not have a vote. They are only allowed to be present. This needs to change, but the governor wasn't here, so I wasn't able to say this out loud, but now I just did. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine. Let's bring that to the meeting next month. But also, I put on the agenda opportunities for folks to report on 3 meetings that have occurred just in the last month or so, and that's one of them, Catherine. So if there's any more you want to say, stick around. Go ahead, Dottie.
I was going to comment on Drum Road. Having been on the neighborhood board for almost a dozen years, this has been brought up many, many times. And I would say, just as Catherine did, if we have any opportunity to look at the feasibility of using Drum Road, we should, because I know that people from previous neighborhood boards have gone across Drum Road and they made it back. And so it is a road. It's not a highway that is manicured or, it's not like H1 or anything like that. It needs a lot of work, but it's another road in and out of this area. And our road right now is a death trap for people. We are going to be, they're coming worse climate change issues than what's Lala. And I'm afraid for this community that we must have another road. So let's put some money into it.
Thanks. Okay, John, and then Ben, and then let's see if we can move on to the next agenda item.
Sure. I just want to back up what Dottie said. I've taken youth through Pupukia to Laie, and there's a road structure there, but if we could get use of it and improve it, it's not drivable, the parts that I've hiked. So I do agree that if we could get use of it to use as a secondary road, that'd be great, but it's not a drivable road. The parts that I've been on, you need dirt bikes or other things.
All right, so just one comment here, and that's that, our infrastructure committee, one of the things we're going to be asking our committees to do is to really develop very focused agendas, hopefully by September or by October, right? And so this is the type of thing that we can really put as like maybe just 2 or 3 issues. Let's not do 1,000 issues, but let's just do 2 or 3 issues. And the bypass road might be one of them, okay? Ben, no? Okay, Evelyn, and then I'm going to close the discussion.
Just lastly on the bypass road, the North Shore Neighborhood Board has been railing about this. I know Bob Blanau is not, I don't know if he's on the board anymore, but this has been an issue that he brings up every single time there's a military hearing or anything or an opportunity to talk about it. So I think we could ally with the North Shore Neighborhood Board.
Okay, Chelsea has pointed out, normally my experience with these things is the raised hands go to the top of the participant list, and I didn't notice that we have a few people. We're going to spend a few more minutes on this issue. People feel passionate about it. So Andrea, and then after Andrea, Jacob, and after Jacob, Casey again, and then Mark.
Thank you. I'm having a quick, some information. I'm Andrea, not Anita Ben. Anyway, I am with the OMPO, but I'm not testifying for them, but I am just saying there is a report. It was done August 21st, 2019 was when it was completed and published. The statewide coastal highway program. You should take that down and look at that. A lot of things to do with any possible second road are, you know, obviated in that, and waiting for another viability, feasibility study, anything like that is just another big delay to pay study people. There are many, every inch of the way, there's solutions proposed in that study. Okay, this is the statewide coastal highway program, August 21, 2019.
Okay, let's make sure we have an inventory of all that. So if any of our representatives come back and say they're going to study it, we can just drop a large bunch of documents on their desk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to, was it Casey is next or Jacob? Jacob, if you can go next.
Okay. Just want to say that was a good presentation, Dylan. I was wondering, do you ever heard of a site called the Federal Highways Administration, where they have basically research on your thesis, and it's good that you bring it to light, because when DOT, when putting all these speed humps and speed tables, they told us that's the one tool solution that will fix everything. But as your thesis states and proves, there's more than one tool to fix a problem, and also a better fix to address the problem, not this one tool fix everything. Because as you notice, there's a lot of pushback where these humps are installed and how they're installed and location. So I just thank you for having your thesis with.
Dylan, your timing, it turns out to be perfect. So really appreciate it. So let's go to KC and then Mark, and then let's move on to the next agenda items. Oh, Carol. Okay.
Yes. Carol or myself?
Okay. Okay. Then how about Mark? Did you have a question?
I do.
What's that question, Casey? Well, his hand is up. So okay.
Okay. Yes. Years ago, we had this debate, and for the Drum Road, the Envision LIE wanted to have the Drum Road open so they could double and triple their population. Now, BYU has creeped up, and I believe it's almost 3,000 students. This new mammoth zip line, they say there'll be 1,000 people a day. Of course, the old BYU wanted to expand to 5,000 students. That's plus a lot of spouses and children. So you could build a road, but it could get clogged again if you're not careful. So are you looking at that, population growth? And how would that work?
Thank you, Casey. I don't think there's anyone here to speak to that, but not yet.
I think it's something you should look at with the zip lines and the growth in LIE.
All right.
And the unpermitted growth.
Thank you, Casey. Did Mark finish his microphone? Get his microphone working?
He's talking.
Can you unmute, Mark? Because we can't hear you. Okay, we can't make that work. So Carol, did you have a last comment? We're going to
Yes,
close it.
quick comment is even if we are, while we're pushing for this additional road, consider emergency purposes first before vast public. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about, we're sitting here and we hear the ambulance in this meeting literally how many times? I can't even imagine.
That's right.
So basically emergencies like people who are on dialysis can't get to their dialysis and they're stranded during disasters. So I'm just thinking.
They're
that's
going
it.
to die. You have to understand the
Yeah, yeah.
people who have dialysis in a true one will die. They
Yeah.
will have 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they will die. That is the
Okay.
reality you folks are
So-
not facing.
So it's an
And I'm
important, it's
likely
an
to be
important
that.
point. It's an important point, the purpose of the bypass road. And that dictates the infrastructure and the approach in designing it. So, okay, I'm going to have us move on. Great discussion, everyone. I look forward to the infrastructure committee taking this on. If people feel passionate about this, does anyone want to join the infrastructure committee from the community? Do we have any hands? We've already got Evelyn. Catherine has volunteered. Would you like to join? If you wouldn't mind giving your information to Dottie. Is there anybody else? Would she would like, what is your name? I'm sorry. Kamalani would like to join. Okay, good. Now we're going to be doing this for the next hour, is recruiting people for committees. The more passionate you are, the more I'm going to hope you're going to join a committee. Okay. And Dylan would like to join infrastructure. That's perfect. Yay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. We might adjust this agenda a little bit. We're, can be running out of time. So let's make sure the two next presentations occur and then we can play with the rest. So let's go to, let's see, Paul Jolet, are you here? Okay, and this is for the cesspool conversion revolving fund loan program, and we're going to hear about that. So Paul, you've got 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, my name is Paul Jolly with Clear Environmental Services. We're a full end-to-end septic installation company located in Haleiwa. There we go. Yep. So Paul Jolly, Clear Environmental Services. We're a full end-to-end septic installation company, and we're located in the Haleiwa. I lived here in Hauula for about 10 years, so I love this area. And there's some new programs to finance the cesspool conversions. So the state, they've passed a revolving loan program that's going to be managed by the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority. And this program is going to give about $2.6 million to the community that people can apply for. The details are still coming, so it'll be towards the end of the year. But
Yes, like this.
Catherine, could you mute? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. So with this 2.6 million, you're able to you're able to yeah, 1 second. Sorry, got a little jittery. So you're able to get the full end-to-end septic installation done. So we have our in-house engineer. We also have a master plumber that does the installations. And the main thing is to prepare for this, the loan that's coming available. And the way to prepare for it is each home that needs a cesspool to be converted, there's a few things that you can do. And it's to determine what type of system is needed at the house. And so in order to know what type of septic system you need, there's a few things. We do a site survey, and it's based on the ground, how the water percolates through the ground. It's also based on the site characteristics, and it's also based on your site, the lot size. And so what we do is we do a site survey where we'll come out at no cost and we'll survey the property, and we will do the percolation test and let you know what type of system needs to be done on the property. We also have another program. So there's two programs to be able to finance the septic systems that we offer. So we'll help with the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority program when those requirements become available towards the end of the year. So we'll help people get through that process. But we also have, similar to residential solar, where we have a service agreement option, where instead of paying $30,000 to $60,000 out of pocket, we actually have, it's a zero down option where it's anywhere from $150 to $250 a month. We pay for the system to be in the ground, and then we monitor it and we maintain it as well. So it's another lever that we have to be able to make this as cheap and affordable as possible. And so we've sent out information to everyone that has a cesspool here in Hauula, Honolulu, Laie, and Kahuku. And so that you guys have the information. And so with this program, it's zero down. We pay for the installation, and then it's a small monthly payment to keep it maintained and monitored. But yeah, that's it. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you so much. You did great. Do we have any questions for Paul? Could you use your microphone, please?
They have to convert by 2050. That's the goal, right? But there also seems to be a level of like, oh, here's our top priority homes. And are those the homes that are closest to the ocean? Is that how it works?
Yes, yeah, correct. So there are 3 different priority zones the state has recommended. And the first priority zones are closer to water sources that could get contaminated. So if closer to the ocean, closer to ground wells or drinking wells. And so, but the date is still the same. It's 2050. And so really the main catalyst for people to convert right now is if you need a building permit or if your cesspool is currently failing. And that's like one of the big catalysts to get people to actually change. And this revolving loan is kind of a carrot to get people to change, to switch over from a cesspool to a septic, because it is expensive. It's $30,000 to $60,000 to get these installed. And so where we come in to help is we try to make it as affordable as possible.
The state is going to loan that money. They're not giving it away.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. So they're loaning it, and it's supposed to be 0%, and it could be forgivable. Now, the details aren't out yet. And so the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority is going to come out with that toward the year. We want people to be ready and know about it, so that way they know that there is this loan option, because it goes pretty fast when these programs become available. So
Thank you, Paul. Any other questions for Paul? Amalani, can you use your microphone?
What happened if we don't convert by 2050?
that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that question. There was legislation proposed, I believe it was last year, where they were going to create a fee, an infrastructure fee similar to a sewer bill that you would have to pay if you didn't convert. But that didn't pass. So I don't know what the legislatures are going to do to kind of make people do it after 2050. I'm not sure. So I don't have an answer for you.
Thank you. Any last questions for Paul? Go ahead.
I just want to make a comment. Like you said, the ones along the waterways are going to be first. And everybody after that, those are going to be the priority ones, right? Anything that can harm the land or the water, that's going to be first. And there's a lot of them. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have online, we have Atalina.
Hi, Paul. My question is, where can we go online to follow on any updates for the program?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It's clear-Hawaii.com, or you can call us at 999-CLEAR. So 808-999-CLEAR is our number. And was that 2532? Yep.
And did you say that it would come out in October, or do you know what month, or?
We don't know. We're on a distribution list, so we should know as soon as the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority makes the rules of the program become available. They'll send us their rules, and then we can distribute that. Or You can also contact the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority directly and get on their distribution list. That way you know, about the program. So.
Thank you. And then we've got Jacob and then Ella.
Hello. My question is reason why household owners are not really quickly to jump on this type of conversion is because, like you stated, it's 30 to 60 grand. Of course, there's loans and financing. And like you said, that's if it's forgivable. The homeowner's gonna be stuck with 30 to 60 grand they gotta pay. And since the state is requiring them by 2050, only when the homeowners are willing to convert is the state pays for everything because they came out with that law to force the homeowners to convert over.
Thanks, Jacob.
Is there a question?
I think it was a statement. Yeah. Ella, do you have a question?
Yes, I'd like to know what this new conversion thing involves. Septic is going to be non-existent in the next 10 years. So if we're going to spend that kind of money to convert our cesspools, we need to have something that is going to be sustainable and not have to be redone in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So there is traditional septic, which is a gravity-fed system. There's also more advanced systems that are aerobic that have air blowers that blow air in there to help break things down better. And there's also UV light. But I mean, the best is to have city sewer, right? And so, there's certain areas where city sewer is planning to expand, and that would be able to, handle people's waste. But as far as septic, it's going to be, in my opinion, it'll be around longer than 10 years. But that's to be determined by the state officials. So.
Thank you, Ella. Thank you, Paul. I'm going to bring this to a close, move on to the next agenda item. I accept Dottie's looking at me. Go ahead. Last thing.
Well, I'm just going to say, on this very issue, in the mayor's highlights on the back page, your water, your sewers. And there is a little QR code there. They're asking you to complete a survey. I was just looking at the survey, and I don't think most people know how bad their water is. And so I would be careful when I fill out this survey. You've got to know this area is one of the worst in the whole state. Hauula, in any area, any community up here that doesn't have a sewer is bad. And it is threatening our health. And so this has got to be a top priority. We have, just in Hauula, we have over 700 cesspools. So this is a really big issue.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Paul. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Great job. And let's go on to Mark. Mark Howland
Hey,
is
can you
going
hear me
to
now?
present on the special management area permits for 2 properties, Crouching Lion Residences and Martin's property, both in Ka'ava.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Good, fine. Let me start up the presentation and share it. My name is Mark Holland from Whale Environmental Services. So,
You have 5 minutes, Mark.
yep. Okay, so this is a presentation first for the Crouching Lion Residences. It's essentially we go to the neighborhood boards and go over the project before we go to DPP for the final SMA stages. Obviously the GIS mapping system is a little off. It's the vacant lot in between the 2 Crouching Lion and the other residents. The proposed
Did you put
action
up a
is the construction.
presentation, Mark? Did you put something up that you're sharing?
I shared it.
We're not seeing it right now.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Yes, there we go. Thanks.
Again, it's a neighborhood presentation that we do to all the boards before it goes to the final SMA stages. This is the, back to the slideshow again. This is the locus of the property. Obviously, like usual, the GIS Central Systems Office, the vacant lot in between. Proposed action is to construction a parcel with new family dwellings. It's detached two-family units. Purpose and need is outside the shoreline setback. As construction costs are over 500,000, it's an SMA major. The plot plan is more accurate, outlined here in yellow. This is the conceptual plan, the existing topo of the property, and the proposed construction to the right. We also have Kai from KC Chung Designs here to ask any architectural questions, and also Dodge Meredith, the builder, who's here as well. This is, again, the locus of the property. It's the vacant lot in between. It's proposed for a dwelling unit right here. The soils on the site are basically clay looms as they go through the property. The 3.2 sea level rise, as you can see, does go over the driveway and a little bit of the residence. That's the 3.2 exposure area lines, again, come up on the driveway and just about reach the planned development locations, but don't quite reach them. Hurricane is mostly confined to the shoreline. The answer to the young lady's question about throwing blades off of one turbine. When I was the lifetime coordinator for the Army, it's 10 times the distance depending at the 10 and 2 o'clock positions of the blade and the category of the storm. This is the shoreline erosion UH lines, which has an accretion, loss, which brings the distance out to about 116 feet. And we're staying far enough away that we stay outside of that shoreline setback. It's all in the X flood zone. Normally, we work with DPP to make sure these conditions go to the city council. They include a series of conditions proposed, cultural issues, if there's any jack of sands or any indication for cultural, Shifty's always contacted and make sure that cultural considerations taken in place. Wildlife concerns, dark sky provisions will apply. If any endangered species traverse or come onto the site, work immediately halts. And one of the requirements of city council is usually for us as biologists to go out 3 days before start of construction, make sure no one's moved in. And then clean soil provisions apply for any imported or even on-site soils to make sure that there's no endangered like rhino beetles or any pesticides or toxins. That's basically it. We're based out of both Koʻolauloa and now Pahoa, Hawaii. And I'm welcome to answer any questions anyone has. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any comments or question about the Crouching Lion property? So let's start with Sunny and then Ben.
So this property is kind of steep from what I understand. And with the grading that needs to happen, are you gonna be building rock walls? And retain the soil?
Dodge, you want to answer that question, or Kai?
And your plans to retain the soil during the grading?
I'm sorry, Mark, what'd you say?
I was going to ask if either Dodge, the builder, or Kai, the architect, would answer that question. They're both here.
Okay.
Hi. The house follows the slope of the lot. It right now we are don't
Actually, no, there won't be any retaining walls because of the existing slope works in our favor. We are doing stem walls for the house that's close like
Okay.
kind of like at the top of the hill on the flats, working towards the Mocha side of it. So yeah, to answer that question, yeah, we don't have any retaining walls proposed for the Mackay side of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ben?
Have you folks met with the Koʻolauloa Community Association? Oh,
No.
we suggest that you do so that they know what's going on? Mahalo.
We will.
Recommend- Thank you, Mark. Any other, okay, we got Cowie.
Quickly, are you proposing a number of residences? I see it's called Crouching Lion Residences Property.
I think two.
Two.
Yeah.
Like two homes?
Is that right, Mark? 2 homes?
It's 2 homes.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, what is your name?
My name's Jojo.
Jojo? Okay, Jojo, and then Evelyn.
I'm just curious, who is the instigator of this Crouching Lion project? Business or individual?
Yeah, individual. My name is Dajan Meredith. I'm from Koku. So I'm part owner of the project with my brother. We're both from Koku.
Thank you for that. Evelyn?
Are the residents going to be used for the exclusive use of your personal family, or are they going to be speculator, or is this a speculation? Or are you using it for vacation rentals? What is the purpose?
I appreciate
rentals
the
are not allowed
question.
on this property.
Yeah. So our exit strategy there is to develop the lot and build home and then sell it. So that's our exit strategy. As much as we want to keep it for our kids, obviously we can't afford it. But we live in Koku, so we were able to buy this lot from someone that approached us to sell it, and then so we did our analysis on it. So our plan is to develop it and then put it on the market to sell.
So these are spec houses for investment purposes. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any other questions for Mark before he does his second presentation?
I
We have
had a
people-
question.
Go ahead, Catherine.
As a pending member of the infrastructure committee, if you're going to do any work there, you've noted you have clay soil. Those trucks are going to be coming in. They're going to be going out. You're building right on a known curve that has multiple accidents history. What are you going to do to assure and mitigate the community that you will mitigate this mud? This has been a common problem. That people, there was just a bit down in Kahalu where their whole, hill is fallen onto the highway. It's just lovely to drive through and very dangerous. So what will be the assurance of this project that we will not be enduring that as we will be enduring the trucks nonetheless? Thank you.
The environmental assessment contains erosion sediment control plan. I'm the Hawaii rep for the International Erosion Control Association. The BMP is slated to keep everything on the site, not to leave the site, and there are several mitigation measures put in place.
So you'll be happy to share your phone number and contact with us so we can contact you directly when this does not occur?
We don't know that it's not going to occur.
Well, I'm
Catherine,
feeling I've heard the same question from people before.
Mark, if we see things that are concerning, how do we follow up?
You could send me an email. You have my email, Mike, and
Can you put your,
I'll take
is it in the, could you put it in the chat, Mark? Do you mind? Are you comfortable doing that?
because on the last page, the second to the last page. I can put in the chat to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
That would be appropriate.
We're going to bring this to a close, and Mark, you've got one more presentation.
Yeah, let me just enter the phone number. Okay, I shared it.
Thank you.
So this is the Mertens property. We had sent your board a courtesy copy before. This was originally in an SMA minor. and was approved about a year and a half ago. It was under the 500,000 level. Since then, Sal Hernandez and his wife Bernadine Mertens decided they want to add a workshop. The workshop brings it now over the 500 threshold. DPP would not let us amend the SMA. They made us do a SMA amendment to add the workshop to the project and go through the SMA major process. So, advancing. This is the locus of the lot. This is the picture of when it was vacant and there's now has a home built on it. The project is to go underneath the home that was currently built about a little over a year ago. And take advantage of the fact that they can go in between the support pilings for the property and build a workshop, which already has a downstairs bathroom and storage area built on it. So it's to basically add the woodworking shop. This is constructions in R5 in Kaava. Since it's now on the over 500,000, it's going to be an SMA major. This is the plot plan for the property, as you can see. Second one in. The access is actually from the back road, not from the CAM highway. This is the site location roughly, as you can see by the yellow pin. Pretty close to the last project we just talked about. This is the soils on the map. These are jack sands on this property. So since they've already built and went through the archaeological and cultural, there's going to be no digging for this project. It's basically slab between the pilings and the workshop placed above. It was impacted by the 3.2 and will continue to be that way. And those foundations put in under the SMA minor were enhanced to take care of that. There's no coastal erosion line that reaches the property. It comes up to the CAM highway, does not reach the property. It's not a shoreline lot. It's in the Tasami zone, but it's not in the extreme. The erosion rate's moderate, but it won't even reach the site. It comes up to, like I said, the CAM highway. It's all in the velocity extreme zone, which was the reason why the foundations had to be raised on pilings for the dwelling, and that's it. So the same conditions apply as discussed in the last project before. That will be added and recommended to DPP for closure in the City Council's final resolution voting the project in. So again, we're based out of Kuku and Pahoa. If anyone has any questions, we'll be glad to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have any questions from Mark? Let's start with Ben.
Hi, Mark. I think your presentation was very great. You did a great job on there. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments?
And everybody be safe. The hurricane's going to hit us in Pahoa tomorrow directly, so hopefully you guys won't get it. So
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mark.
be safe.
Okay, no other questions for Mark? Okay, let's move on then. Okay, thank you so much, Mark, and
All right, thank you.
everyone else that you brought to the meeting. So there were 3 meetings that occurred in the last month or so. One is the Honolulu Police Department Strategic Planning Community Engagement Session, which Ben attended. It's an opportunity to have an influence on the HPD strategic plan. We did reach out to them, and they said if you did not attend that meeting, the Koʻolauloa board can actually provide input to the plan at a later date. So maybe one of the things we want to think about is you know, what's the process for that and the timeline. And actually, I can follow up with my contact at HPD about that, but you might have some ideas, Ben. So how did the meeting go? What can you tell us? Thanks for representing us.
I can tell you the meeting was at the Poly Golf Course, and it was like a 3-mile drive in, right? Anyway, but the first question was, what is HPD doing well that should continue? And the second one was, what builds your trust in HPD, and how can we move forward and get better at doing our job? basically, that's what it's all about. They had different, maybe about 6 tables with people on it, and they all had cards on there, and they would write down what they thought. And after everybody did that, they posted on the board, and they looked at what the similarities were, and those were like the main ones. And that stood out in that presentation. They did a second time, more questions and more. It was more not so much about the complaints, but more about how they can fix things. What can they do? And I thought that was great. That was a great idea on how they can fix things. Right? Everybody can blame everybody, but we want things fixed. We're really looking for. And it was a last minute call, but that's okay. It was really good. Mahalo.
Awesome, awesome. So we do have an opportunity to provide input. I think one of the things if we can discuss of kind of, are we going to, what might that look like? And what would be next steps if we're going to do something? Evelyn, go ahead.
I appreciate that meeting took place. Tomorrow here at the community center for the Kapuna breakfast will be the Sergeant Corbin Matsumoto from the crisis intervention team, who will come to talk about the 988 number and providing crisis intervention for people with mental illness, and also for the homeless who are struggling. So thank you. I just wanted to add that part in.
Go ahead, Ben.
So, if anybody wants to add things, you can just, send it to the chair, and then we can put it all together and add that to the list. A lot of them were very the common themes that they ran to on getting things better for our communities. But ours might be a little bit different because every community, every Oahu is different, and so we want to make sure that we are doing right for our community, our Oahu.
Okay, so is this sufficient for now? Do we want to do anything more? Are we perfectly fine? If anyone has anything, please send it to me. We can pass it on to HPD. Is that enough for us at this point?
Unless we see something that is sticking out, right? If we see something that needs to be done now, and then you, Chief of Police, he came. He was very humble. He wants to learn. He doesn't know everything, but he wants to learn. And I thought that was great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, all right. Thank you. Let's go on to the next. There was a kickoff meeting of the core working group for Kahuku Golf Club Course Conservation Plan. Did anyone here attend that, and would they like to report? Evelyn? Could you speak with a microphone?
I'm on the kickoff team, but I had a hard time getting on visually, so I was on by phone. And I'm excited about this is a conservation, new conservation plan that's being worked up. And it's a lot of different groups coming, DLNR, the city, enterprise services, and on and on. And I think it's time.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Evelyn, for participating in that. Anybody else? Okay, and the last one is community briefing and listening session on military lease lands, Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Catherine had addressed that briefly earlier. Do we have any more discussion on that? Did anyone attend?
Yeah, I attended, Mr. Chair, and one of the things I brought out is that should not be part of the negotiation. That should be done first. Right.
Say that again?
I said that should not be a part of our negotiations for the leases or the no leases, but it should be done ahead of that, so that road comes back to the community. And so that's what I'm hoping that they'll take that forward. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other discussion? Evelyn, did you participate?
I did attend that meeting too, and I think that our board should make a resolution to support OHA's position and send it as a letter to the governor's office that we want them to listen to what OHA has to say.
Is that something our infrastructure committee could generate by the next meeting? We're giving you a lot of homework. Sure. Or do we just want to have or we just want to propose a resolution right now proposing that OHA have What exactly would be the resolution? OHA have a voting?
A voting voice. Right now,
Okay.
they are allowed to sit there, not to say anything. And these are people with great legal minds who put in a great presentation and really have their facts in order. And they ought to be allowed to speak and not be silent just because the military isn't keen on hearing them.
What does
So
it mean to have a voting voice, though, in that context?
I'm not really, they shouldn't be having just to sit there and not get to say anything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And they should have a say, not just be there. Right now, it just seems like it's the gist of what I got is that they're allowed to be present, but not much more. And that's just sort of like tipping your hat. That's ongoing colonialism. It's not reparations that the Hawaiian people deserve. Okay, and I'm not Hawaiian, but my grandchildren are, and I think they deserve more.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back. Can we, I think we need to understand the venue a little bit, right? So if we can draft something that says, in effect, we support OHA having a more active and directive
And voting.
and voting. I don't know if they vote. That's what I'm curious
Yeah,
about.
I don't know either, but
yeah, so just something that actually uplifts OHA and say that they need to have a more instrumental role in decision making and in assessment and analysis and everything. So
yes,
I think it's the
something like that.
that
Yeah.
we have to send this information to.
Okay.
The governor.
Okay. Thank you, Infrastructure Committee. But you've got all these new members. We've got JoJo, we've got Evelyn, we've got Catherine, we've got Dottie. So really appreciate that. Okay, so moving on, consideration of anything else on the military stuff? Sorry. Okay, moving on, consideration of new members to fill 2 recent vacancies for Koʻolauloa. We sadly received resignation letters from both Carol and Auntie Kella. Both of them have pretty substantial caregiving responsibilities. So Carol, do you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you. I've enjoyed my time here, but I am excited for what's coming to support this great team. And I had a recommendation that is here tonight. So
It's here tonight. Okay.
I'll have her introduce herself when the time is right. But
How many people here are here to nominate themselves or to be nominated for the neighborhood board? Please raise your hand.
I
1,
invited 2 people.
3. We have 4. Okay. So what we'd like to do actually is just hear from all 4 of you. We may not make the decision tonight. I think we'd like to hear from all 4 of you and maybe have some one-to-one discussions just and then make the decision at the next board meeting. Is that okay? Okay. And I'm particularly interested in both your background and what brings you to this, but also, is there something that you're really passionate about? That, that we really want board members that can really, put some of the time in for the committees and I think, passion really drives things sometimes. So what is it based on what you understand of what the community priorities are that you really would like to focus on? So shall we just start? Okay. And I'm going to give each of you, if you don't mind, is 2 minutes enough time? Okay. So if you can use the microphone. You can use the microphone or you can stand up, whatever you're most comfortable doing.
All right, so my name's Cheryl Brenchley, and I am from Laie, born and raised there. What I'm most passionate about, I think, is just, I've got 2 sons, 18 and 14, and just having them have as much similar to upbringing as I did, where a place where we can kind of keep Laie as much as I loved growing up there, I want them to have the similar and same experiences. So when I see a lot of changes, I love changes, but I want to make sure that the interest is in the future too for our children. And I'm also very passionate about health. And so when Dottie was talking about water, that was new to me because I grew up always hearing that we have the best water in our side. So I would like to learn more about that. So health and just a great place to keep on living.
Thank you. And can I just ask a quick follow-up? We can follow up with questions. Okay. Can I just ask, do you currently participate in any of the civic organizations or associations of group? You're from Laie, is that
From
correct?
Laie.
From Laie?
I do not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you so much. Okay, any questions for again? Cheryl, sorry.
I have one question.
Uh-huh.
How did you know that this election thing was coming up?
I was given
Appointing thing was coming up.
that this, okay, Verla Morris called me.
Okay.
Perla,
And
she's the LCA president, right?
yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
she encouraged you.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Jojo.
Hi, my name's Jojo Chang. I've lived in the Laie community for 25 years. I own a house there. I'm really passionate about the highway project because I see the future. And
Which project is that?
the highway project.
The highway project.
The highway that works, yeah. So I'm really passionate about that. I know Auntie Killa was also really passionate about the swimming pool project in Kahuku. I'm also passionate about that. I have been a swim instructor for many years, and I'd love to see the kids in our community learn how to swim. So yeah, I've been a teacher for 25 years. I recently studied real estate and, there's a lot of housing issues here on our side. So I'm also passionate about housing and taking care of our community and the people that live here.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask the same question. Are there any civic associations in Laie that you currently participate in or groups that you do volunteer work with?
I am not super active in the community associations there. I do work with people in recovery. And that is not just recovery from like drugs and alcohol, but I also work with people that are in recovery from just hard life things that happen to them.
Okay.
So as far as the North Shore community and, people that live on this side, I work with in that volunteer role.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And so we have 4 committees we're recruiting for: housing, infrastructure, and emergency response, government transparency and accountability, and jobs, entrepreneurship, and economic development. Is there one that particularly interests you? Okay, okay. I appreciate that. And you?
Well, I'm
You can think about it.
yeah, housing and
Housing.
road.
Okay, infrastructure or housing.
I love people, so.
Okay, okay. All you can join more than one committee, by the way, if you've got the time. Okay, can we have our next candidate? Any questions for Jojo? I'm sorry. Okay, and our next candidate.
I kind of got to introduce myself last time. I'm Jerusha Wallace Mongale. I am a resident from Laie, but I have also lived in Ho'ula for many years before that. My husband and his family are from there. My family has been part of the Koʻolauloa community for generations. So I have an invested interest in what happens inside of our communities and not just in Laie. An area of interest that for me is culture and arts. That is absolutely a space that I love to exist in and to be. And so anytime there's things that are happening, especially with Evie or Bones or, that kind of stuff, I would be interested in being involved and helping with that and following maybe protocols specifically that are going to be respectful of the spaces that they come from and that they're residing in. Also, I'm an educator. I have been an educator in our community for a very long time. I started at Ho'ula Elementary School as a PPT and then an EA, and then I moved on to Enchanted Lake and Wahiawa, and then I came back to Kahuku, where I was a special educator. Currently, I work at BYU Hawaii, and I'm a professor there. So education in all of those different spaces is really important to me. We talked a little bit about the infrastructure of BYU Hawaii, and that is directly affecting me and my family and my job. And so in a really interesting space, I would love to sit and explore and hear what people in the community have to say about that. Nate, I have a lot of other interests too. You were saying there were some areas.
We have, oh, well, I just want to say it, if there's a critical mass of people that have something that they're concerned about, and they're willing to put the time and the energy into it, and it aligns with community need, then this board is always open for starting a new committee. If you're willing to chair it, if you're willing to honcho it. I think that, I think the committee structure can be revised at any time. This was just based upon a discussion we had back in January, identifying these priorities, right? So it can be fluid. The board can actually make changes.
So I guess I would be willing to help and support in whatever capacity. But I am a fierce advocate for individuals whose voices have not been heard. That has just been part of my career. And so I'm willing to help and support people who want their voices heard.
Thank you. Awesome. And the 4 committees that we currently have are housing, infrastructure, and emergency response, government transparency and accountability, and jobs, entrepreneurship, and economic development.
Emergency response.
Emergency response and infrastructure.
Yeah.
We may just have one committee. Everyone wants to serve on emergency. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Kamalani, go ahead.
Aloha, Chair Epp, members of the Koʻolauloa Neighborhood Board, and members of our community. My name is Kamalani Kilikuli, and I'm a resident of Laie. I'm respectfully asking to be considered for one of the vacant Laie representative seats on the Koʻolauloa Neighborhood Board. For me, this is not about having a title. It is about my kuleana. I live here, I work here, and I've spent many years serving and advocating alongside the people of our community. My background includes working in education at Laie Elementary School, serving as a community health worker, executive director for 808 Rising, and supporting youth and kupuna, helping families connect with resources, participating in health and wellness programs, assisting during flooding and community emergencies, and working with community partners to address local needs. I've also been involved in community advocacy surrounding development, agricultural lands, traffic, pedestrian safety, flooding, infrastructure, and the preservation of places that are important to Laie and Koʻolauloa. Through these experiences, I have learned that decisions made by the government and outside organizations can have a very real impact on the families who live here. I've also learned that residents deserve to know what is happening before decisions are already made. That is one of the main reasons I want to serve. If selected, I want to help strengthen community communication between this board, government agencies, and our residents, so that people understand what is being proposed, have an opportunity to participate and know their concerns, and that their concerns are being heard. My priorities would include public and pedestrian safety, flooding and drainage, infrastructure, emergency preparedness, responsible development, protection of agriculture and culturally important lands, support for our children and kupuna, and greater transparency and community participation. I also understand that serving on the neighborhood board means representing people who may not always agree with me. My responsibility would not to represent only those who share my views. My responsibility would be to listen to everyone, ask questions, research the issues, work with people who have different perspectives, and make sure the voices of ordinary residents are not forgotten. One of my greatest strengths is being a connector. When there's a problem, I believe in asking, what can we do? Who needs to be at the table? And how do we move toward a solution? Koʻolauloa will continue to grow and change, but progress should never mean losing the character of our community or leaving residents out of important decisions. The choices we make today will affect our children and our grandchildren. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to ask difficult questions when necessary. And I'm ready to accept the kuleana of representing Laie with respect, integrity, accountability, and aloha. I humbly ask for your consideration and the opportunity to serve. And I'd like to thank our past members, Karafienga and Auntie Kella, for all the things they have done. Thank you.
Nicely done, Kamalani. Thank you so much. And I'm curious to the two of you, do either of you currently serve on any of civic organizations, the community, so any other groups? Yeah. Can you speak on the microphone?
Involved at Kukiai Kuku, so I fought against the turbines also.
Awesome.
And I also used to I was a legislative aide and then ended up as a deputy director for the research for Senate Minority Office for Senator Favela.
You are quite the Renaissance person. How about you?
Not directly in this community. I had for a time been part of the Koʻolauloa Civics Club,
Okay.
but health reasons for a family, I stopped going, but
I understand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for any of our candidates?
I think their presentations were wonderful, Mr. Chair, and good luck. Good luck in, you know.
So
getting it
we'll be
all.
reaching out to you individually in the next month, and we'll have our vote next. And there's 4 of you. There's only 2 positions. It is no reflection on you if you do not happen to get chosen. What we do ask you to do is serve on one of the committees, right? Still be a part of the board. You know, what we're really trying to do is elevate all the energy in the community and not just have it focused just on neighborhood board members, because there's a lot of really strong people out there that we really want to uplift. So, and it sounds like the 4 of you are among them. So thank you so much. And really appreciate all of you coming. Yay. Okay, required agenda items, the Neighborhood Board Commission, board members' absences. John, do you mind giving us a?
I was absent. I apologize.
Okay, that's good. No,
No, I missed some. The first one I missed was because of Koʻolauloa basketball, same night. And the others was part of the flood rehab. And then I went to, I was off island. And I still want to be a part of this, still feel like I want to fulfill my posts here. But whatever rules is involved, this is my first time, so I'll accept anything that comes.
Sean, can I ask you the question I've been asking over and over again?
Yes.
What committee do you want to be on?
I will do the job and
Entrepreneurship with
yeah.
Allegra.
I'll be
Good.
part of that committee.
Good. Okay. Thank you. I'm perfectly fine with that. We don't need to do a motion, do we? No. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Okay, great, John. I appreciate it. And then this motion to restructure the neighborhood, we actually passed that last time. I was, a little bit busy when I did the agenda, I guess, or I got to this section. What I would like to do is have a discussion of board chairs right now, just to find out who would like to chair the committees. Could be a fair amount of work. It's really trying to organize all of the information in the community, and trying to recruit people from the community. You can do as much delegation as you want, or you can succeed in doing, but we're going to ask the committees really to come up with, some priorities, some very concrete stuff moving forward. We have also invited, we will also invite the committees if we want to do thematic meetings. We might want to do a board meeting that's dedicated entirely to housing. It could be a special meeting. It could be a regular meeting. I would also encourage the committees to have at least 1 or 2 formal open meetings for the community about the issues that they're working on. So if you're chairing a committee, it's a commitment, and I am perfectly happy to support you. And I won't be able to do the work of 4 committees. But I will be happy to be a sounding board and to attend your meetings and support you. But it's actually going to be a commitment. So I just want to go down the list. Does anyone want to chair infrastructure and emergency preparedness? Dottie. Okay, Dottie, thank you, and I really appreciate that. How about? Yes, sure.
Question is, because you asked us before this, do we know who's expressed interest on the board, on the various committees?
We're figuring that out now. So we have some community members. I mean, my next question is there any board members that want to be on the committees but not chair? Right. So you will figure that out. What I'm hoping between now and September, those who say they will chair and even other board members could start nominating people from the community who might be really effective on these committees. We already, I think, we got Dylan, Catherine, JoJo, who else? Evelyn, Dottie, so we're beginning to assemble the infrastructure thing. Obviously, that's really a high priority. Do we have anyone who's really interested in housing? Committee members who wants to chair that? If we don't, and it has to be a board member to chair this. We can't have a non-board member.
Well, if you look, are you making a new group totally? Because this one is different than the other one.
That's right. And so I should have updated those 9. So we're
Right.
talking about those 4. So we're not doing, those 9 committees are gone. Do we have anyone who wants to do housing?
So should you wait for your new 2 to get on the board?
Well, I mean, I think that was my next question are there any of these committees that you might be interested in chairing as new board members? Our 4 candidates.
That's really hard.
I know it's hard when you're new.
If you don't know if you're on or not, then that's hard to volunteer.
Well, we're just asking if they would express an interest in doing it if they were on the board. So, okay, so no, we don't have anyone from housing yet. Government transparency and accountability. Do we have a chair? Ben. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. And jobs, entrepreneurship, and economic development. Do we have, I think Allegra may have expressed interest in that. We can follow up with her. But is there anybody else? Okay, the real gap is housing, which is a pretty important issue. So we're going to have to figure that out. Okay.
Are we still combining housing and health and social services?
Are we combining housing and what?
Health and social services?
We hadn't originally. No.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the agenda.
So for housing, about limited to houselessness and affordability for locals. But is Atalina, is this something you'd be particularly interested in? If we included, well, it's kind of another topic. How do we
Can you remind us again and clarify the committees?
Housing, including but not limited to houselessness and affordability for locals, is a really recurrent issue. 2, infrastructure and emergency response, including but not limited to wastewater, flood control, roads, power, shoreline access, emergency shelter and response. Government transparency and accountability, including but not limited to effective audit and response. And then jobs, entrepreneurship, and economic development for local residents and families. Those are the 4. And I'm not saying anything that falls out of those categories can't be dealt with by the board, but we had just proposed these as committees.
I can share housing.
Atalina, is that you?
Yes. This is Atalina.
You are awesome. Thank you so much. So I think we may have one for each one. We got housing with Atalina, infrastructure with Dottie, government transparency with Ben, and jobs, entrepreneurship, and economic development. I think that's Allegro. So, okay. Start thinking around who needs to be on your committee. Who do you want to be on your committee? If anybody here wants to be on the committee, let us know or put something in the chat. I think there's nothing else. Okay. Go ahead, Misty.
I would like to propose a subcommittee with youth and young adult community engagement. In my efforts with Just Serve, I meet a lot of nonprofits. I meet a lot of people who are very excited about the youth in our community. And my sister, when she was younger, started a political action committee when she was in high school and made a huge difference in their community. So I would love to do the legwork, put it together, whatever. I don't know what committee that would go under because I'm looking at all kinds of fun things. When I was talking to Councilmember Wire, we talked about youth cert and other things that are exciting. And I love the arts and the culture and all kinds of stuff. And I feel like if we can get the youth involved in this cool group of people, we can lower the median age and get some energy in that we haven't had before, and also get them interested in how the government works here and how they can have a voice. So that's my proposal.
Go ahead, Ben.
I'd like to make a motion that we create that subcommittee and see where it goes. We want to check it out and see if it works. How can it work, right?
Who on the board would like to serve as chair of that subcommittee?
Okay, I guess me, since I'm not making the motion.
Do we have to have a chair on a subcommittee, a board chair? So we have a committee and a subcommittee, but we don't know what subcommittee this is for because it doesn't fit into any of this other category.
It doesn't have to right now.
What?
You're right.
Shouldn't it be under emergency preparedness if it's for the?
Dottie, what'd you say? You'll be the home to that? Okay, so we're putting it under infrastructure and we have a subcommittee. And Misty, if you can be the catalyst, and
Love it.
whether it's a formal or informal chair, if you can be the person on the committee that like really organizes
Do
that
all
and
that
thinks about it.
legwork. Yeah.
Okay. How awesome, Misty. Thank you so much. Yay. Okay. All right. Let's try to wrap this up here because we're running late. Motion to resend. No, we don't need to do that, to resend that letter, because I think Casey's coming back. I think we've done some accountability thing about the humps. So we can table that. The resolution to support establishing an empty homes tax in Honolulu. About, I think, 6 or 7 neighborhood boards have gone on board for this. There's a resolution on Kahaluu. I sent it out to you folks. I mean, I could read it here if you want me to read it, but
Well,
go ahead, Ben.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the wordings that the other neighborhood boards already have researched on.
That's right.
We don't have to do it again. And then we send them a supporting letter to that we confirm with them.
That sounds good. All right, we will send them a supporting letter, but
A motion.
no, but what I'd like to do actually is just put Koʻolauloa on that resolution and just say, this is ours. We're going to pass it too. And then we'll send it to Kahaluu and say, we're passing your resolution.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that all right, everyone? Motion? You made it. Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? No one's opposing. Okay, moving on. Okay, do we need to do committee reports? I don't think so at this point. Do we? No? Public input and announcements. Do we have any public input? Misty?
Aloha. I'm excited to invite everyone to United in Goodness, the 2026 Koʻolauloa Day of Service, happening Saturday, September 12th in Laie. This will be a free casual community service fair where people can come together, meet local organizations, learn about resources and services available in our community, discover volunteer opportunities, and take part in simple hands-on service projects. We already have some wonderful organizations joining us, including La Hui Foundation, WIC, the American Red Cross, Hawaii Land Trust at Mauna Vila, HPD, and Kako'u Kahuku. So we're also inviting additional nonprofits and community organizations to join us as Goodness Ambassadors. Goodness Ambassadors receive a free table where they can introduce the community to what they do, share resources and volunteer opportunities, and if they'd like, bring a quick stop and go service project that people of all ages can help with. This free event begins at 9:30 a.m. on September 12th, and everyone is welcome. If your organization would like a table, or if you simply want to come serve with us, we would love to have you there, and you can contact me at Misty Liu, that's MISTYLIU, @justserve.org, or text my number.
Thank you, Misty. Evelyn?
I'd like to announce that we have a help group that meets every second Thursday of the month at 5 o'clock right here at the Hula Community Center, where it's an emergency leadership program where we have a youth teen certified trainer along with several other of us. And so if you're interested in doing emergency preparedness with youth, I recommend you come and join us. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Evelyn. Any other announcements? Ben and then Dottie.
Yeah, I wanted to announce 2 things. One, the bacteria level in our streams and water. Punaluu Stream Beach is at high. Kahaluu is at high. Akipu'u is at high. And Ke'ie is at medium. Just a FYI on that. And the other one is that on the OIBC, which I sit on, we're working on the Lania Kiel. They're making a parking area so that people can park and traffic can move on. They have EV, but they're still trying to decide whether they're going to stay in place or they're going to relocate. That's where we're at right now, Dan.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Dottie? Can you use your microphone, please?
I should have done this earlier when he was here, but we are very proud to announce that a young man in our Moku, Odell Brink, is now on the Honolulu Youth Commission. He was just chosen today by the mayor and the Youth Commission representatives, and we're very excited about that. He's also serving here at Hui o Ha'ula as our student intern from the high school. He's a sophomore in high school. Very incredible young man.
Awesome. Thank you. Give you that. Any other announcements? Sorry, do we have, like,
Yeah, very quickly, their last day for people to sign up for Windward Community College is tomorrow, the 14th. I'm not with Windward, but anyone from Kahuku who graduated in 2026 can go for free for the first year. They have a lot of hands-on courses, and a lot of Kahuku students thrive in that, and they do really well even if they didn't do well in Kahuku. This hands-on things helps them, then they can transfer to other schools. So thank you for passing it on to the families. This is a great opportunity, and a lot of people thrive. Oh, Dave is on. He can say it better than I can. Sorry, I
No,
didn't
I
get to
think
say that.
you said it very well, Casey. So
Thank
I
you, Dave.
appreciate you bringing that up. I'm faculty at Windward Community College, and I was interim dean for 5 years, but and teaching an early college class at Kahuku this fall. So and promoting all kinds of programs. But yeah, a lot of opportunities at Windward for folks.
Thank you, Dave. Any other announcements? Evelyn?
September 12th, September 26th, and October 10th, which are all Saturdays, will be a CERT training and refresher for people who want to be community emergency response team participants and leaders. So please sign up and join us and be part of the community of emergency responders.
It's right here, and free lunch.
Okay, okay. Any other announcements? Okay, there's one last thing I meant to do, folks online, folks like Casey and Jacob, who are really some of our more active and committed and passionate community members. Is there a committee that you guys want to be on? So let me know. In case I'd love to meet you someday, actually. So anybody online want to join a committee? Okay, let's go on to approval of regular minutes. Any motion to approve our minutes? Any second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed. And then one brief announcement. Our presenter last time on the Koʻolauloa Elementary School electrical upgrades and long-term repair and maintenance had indicated that they had not consulted with the community association. This turned out to be inaccurate. They had. Okay, so and then Youth Climate Action Fund, we've already talked about that. And the next meeting is September 10th. So shall we finish? Okay, this meeting is now adjourned.